Hi folks, welcome to another edition of 30 Minutes With, the talk show here on Focus Springfield. My name is Mike Dobbs, I'm the managing editor for Reminder Publications, and this is our arts and pop culture edition of the show. And this time we're turning it over to the subject of food and restaurants here in Springfield and the region. And I've got a great panel of people who are intimately involved in eating. And of course, as always,
Okay.
we're here at Smokey Joe's. I'm drinking a very nice scotch. Chef Wayne has joined me in a drink.
And I have a wonderful 23-year-old Guatemalan rum that goes wonderful with a cigar.
There we go.
And I've got delicious Springfield tap water.
I'm drinking straight Tito's vodka.
So my guests are my friend Tim Rooke, former city councilor, who spends more time on Facebook talking about what he has eaten and where he has eaten it than almost any of my other friends. So that's what qualifies Tim here. Tim is a genuine foodie.
I follow him.
Now here's a
And
gentleman.
he feeds me.
Here's a gentleman who is one of the gods of food when it comes to Western Massachusetts, Chef Wayne from the Big Mamou here in Springfield. Your stuff is fantastic. We love it.
Thank you.
At the other end is another friend of mine, Alicia Zoeller, and we always wind up talking about food. Always, always, always. And Alicia harbors this desire to quit her job and to become a YouTube food critic
With a food truck.
with a food truck.
Yes.
Something her wife prudently always keeps her from doing, knowing full well that may not be the best route to take. Nonetheless, we all have our dreams, what can I say? So today we're going to talk about restaurants in the area, we're going to talk about stuff we've eaten, and I'm going to ask Chef Wayne first, how is your restaurant doing? You've been an institution in this area for years, which means you obviously have got the talent and the menu, the ambiance that keeps people coming back, which is very difficult because restaurants are so volatile in industry. I mean, you can be hot for 6 months and then drop right off a cliff. So how are you doing and how have you been able to do it?
Well, I'm doing well. 23 years.
23.
I've been truly blessed. Consistency is important. Being the only fish in the sea helps. You know, because I'm not sharing
Yeah, true.
that Cajun dollar for people who want to come out for Louisiana cuisine with anyone else.
Right.
I'm consistent. It's a fun place. It's comfortable, you know, very unpretentious. And you can bring your own booze. that helps too.
Well, that's actually good for you because you don't have to worry about a liquor license.
Yeah, because I'm not a bartender. I sell food. I don't sell booze. If for 23 years I did have a liquor license, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. I wouldn't be here. So I do have to work, and I have to work at it. And I have to be true to what I do to keep people coming back.
Now we're taping this on an afternoon, which is why Chef is wearing his uniform because he's going to have to go back to work for the supper time.
Yeah, and had I gone home, I probably wouldn't have come back out. So,
Well, we wanted to come here. Luckily, Chef and I are both members here at Smokey Joe's, and we tend to hang out here a bit.
yeah, I see him.
So for you, the secret has been a lot of hard work and consistency of product and knowing who you are and knowing what you want to be.
Yeah, just be true to what you do. I'm not a barbecue place, so you won't find barbecue on my menu. That's someone else's job. We have a wonderful place for that. I'm not, per se, a soul food restaurant, which I have a lot of people come in and say, well, that's another job too. I do Louisiana cuisine with New England touches because I am in New England, and some things you just have to
Right.
play around with a little bit because
Yeah.
you know every region has a flavor profile, so to say. So I try to adjust it and make do.
And you do a damn good job of it.
Well, thank you.
And not only do you sell food, but your personality.
Well,
and
yeah,
it's,
you know,
and it's
hey,
in
you
the
know.
restaurant with your staff, with your food, and you be eating there and people are waiting, and it's happened to me a couple times. Somebody's, hey, sit down, try some. And they're friendly enough because everyone has that philosophy when they're in your restaurant. If somebody offers you some food, you take it. Sit down, meet some new friends, have some drink. I've been down there. A friend of mine, Bobby Robert, brings his own homemade wine. Someone sit down at the table and they start.
Everyone shares.
Yeah,
They do.
that's the beauty of
come
it.
in, if you didn't know you could bring your own, someone in the dining room will offer you some.
Yeah,
And I
It's a nice
have a
experience.
bottle floating around the dining room. you know,
I've heard
here.
that rumor. Heard that rumor.
You know, because some people don't know. So I, you know,
Have you had to adjust your flavor profiles for New England? So ingredient-wise, you can work with some of the freshest and best.
Yes.
But flavor profile-wise, have you adjusted for New England?
to a certain extent, yes.
Okay.
The heat factor, the amount of spice in it, I toned it down, but
Yeah.
over the years, I've slowly put it back
Cranked it up.
as they've become acclimated with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
And
Oh,
any
that's true.
dish,
That's true.
any dish can be taken to a certain level. And the one mistake people make is they challenge the kitchen. Oh, you can't make it too hot. You don't want to do that.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no.
That,
You know, we have literally walked people up and down the sidewalk pouring heavy cream down his throat because he decided,
Oh, you
well,
wanted to challenge the kitchen. Yeah.
yeah, he wanted to challenge the kitchen.
That would not be
Don't
smart.
do that.
Yeah. Guess who won?
Don't do that. Because people have the conception that all Louisiana food is hot. In misconception, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
My menu across the board, when it comes to heat, might be a level 3 at the most, except for one dish, and that's the thunder thighs. They might go up to a 7,
Yeah.
you know.
Well,
I
this is
would
good
not
news
order
for
that.
Alicia because Alicia likes hot stuff.
Hot, 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 yes.
So, Alicia, why are you a foodie?
So I think it started as a kid because my family is from several different places in the world. And so I was raised with Portuguese salted cod and pastries, and then I'd go and visit my family in Kentucky, and we had German food and spätzle and kuchen pastries. And then I grew up on the coast, and so as a kid I grew up on Plum Island, north of Boston, and we'd go out and we'd drag fresh clams from the basin in front of the house, and we'd catch fresh fish. And so I think food was just always sort of a part of our lives, in different kinds of food. And then as I grew up and started experimenting, and certainly moved to Western Mass and had all kinds of offerings that were new to me, I think it's just come naturally. I also think that food is one of these universal threads that we all share, and depending on what culture you may be in, there's only so many ingredients. There's only so many kinds of rice or so many kinds of vegetables, and it's how different cultures treat those different ingredients that really fascinates me.
Tim, why are you a foodie?
Very simple. I was the youngest child in my house, and I was fortunate to have an older brother, and I was his guinea pig. And he cooks, travels, and there is the only thing I cannot eat, because it was forced down my throat as a child, is liver. Anything else, I say I like to eat. My brother is the foodie there, and he cooks with Chef Wayne. They travel, they have fun.
You must
They
be
go-
talking about Thomas.
Tommy, yeah, yeah.
Oh man, we've had especially New Orleans.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
our trip every year, Jazz
Yeah.
Fest,
The Jazz Fest, yeah.
and Thomas and
One-
Bruce Riley and
Yeah.
Kip and all those
Yeah.
guys.
Been down
we
there
go down
3
and
times
we
with them.
eat. They knew more places, especially Bruce Riley.
Yeah,
He knew more places to go in Louisiana and New Orleans than I did.
turtle soup. I had the, what are they, tortoise soup or turtle soup?
Turtle soup.
Oh my God, it was delicious.
Yeah.
It was like, I swear to God, I mean, I love food. And I was sitting, the waitress came in, she goes, my God, she says, you must be enjoying yourself. And I said, this is delicious. She said, if I didn't know better, she said, I thought you were having an orgasm. And I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. And but Bruce brought us to this restaurant. It was outstanding.
It's delicious. I tried for years. I would do turtle etouffee, turtle soup.
Yeah.
It's very expensive. I have to get those things flown in.
Really?
It's expensive. And if I don't sell it, I end up eating it.
Right. Well, and you've
You
been
know.
alligator. I had alligator the first time at your
Alligator for
place.
years. I had it.
Yeah.
Now since Katrina, alligator is up to over $20 a pound.
Wait a minute. I keep seeing on YouTube and Facebook all these alligators running around the South on golf courses and stuff. It looks like there's a surplus of alligator. They
Well,
should.
no, there ain't a surplus of people near them alligators when they run around.
And so how was alligator and turtle soup received here?
Alligator was received well. It's
Yep.
just so expensive.
Okay.
And if you're
Price
familiar
range.
with my restaurant and the menu prices, I would have to charge too much money
Yeah.
for an
Yeah.
alligator appetizer, and that's just
Yeah.
not what we do. We like
Because
to
the
be
price has
affordable.
gone up so much
Yeah,
now.
it's just really. And when I get it flown in, they tell you one thing, but you get it, it's like,
Sure.
Yeah.
completely different.
you know,
Yeah.
and for this price. You know, and so for me to, they know the average person is going to put it back on ice, pack it, and ship it back. So you're really stuck with it.
Yeah.
And it got to be to the point where I just no alligator. It's just
Yeah.
too expensive.
Well, you know your market.
Yeah.
You know your client. You know
Yeah.
your customer base. That's the thing.
Well, let me ask Alicia and Tim. Do you make a conscious effort to go to locally owned, owner-operated places as opposed to saying, "Oh, what the heck, I'm going to go to Olive Garden"? I mean, do you guys make a choice to try to keep the money as local or keep the money to local people?
I love local people. I hate chains. Unless I usually have to be dragged to a chain restaurant to have a dinner. I'll go local. I'll go trying to find a nice Korean place now because that seems to be like the I keep hearing different people say, "Oh, you have to try Korean. Have to try it." And I had Korean. Was it Korean thigh chicken thighs or something like that, and it was pretty decent. I had it at a house party, so now I've got to try a Korean place.
Well,
I
we've
don't
got the Korean place, Kim
On-
Bop
On Main Street,
Sun on Main Street.
know. Oh yeah, I
And-
heard that's
across
supposed to
from
be
the Mass
pretty
Mutual
good.
Center.
And there's a Korean grill place in Chicopee, around the corner from the police and fire station, the public safety complex, across the street from the old Uniroyal office building. It's been there for years. It's tucked into a little 2 or 3 shop mall, but there's a Korean place there. And there was a Korean restaurant up in Greenfield. I went there with a friend, and I said to the waiter, "I know nothing. So could you please help me out? Could you give me a plate of food that introduces me to Korean food?" And they were really nice. They did exactly that. They gave me this plate. I can't
That's the way to
remember
do
anything
it,
about
yeah.
it, but it was a mixture of meat and vegetables, and it was delicious, and I'd go there again in a heartbeat.
Hadley, Route 9 is another one.
Oh, there's one on our producer, Steve Cary. You see, we don't have the
Chime in.
earphones. We don't have the earphones here. Focus Springfield, he just joins in when he feels like it. Alicia, what's your stance on local versus chain?
Absolutely local. If you want to experiment and see how different families and different business owners treat different ingredients, absolutely local is the way to go. If you want to know that the meal that you eat here in Springfield is exactly the same meal that you would get if you were in California, great, go for a chain, but absolutely our household supports local businesses. And we actually seek them out, keep an eye online, keep an eye on social media, even when we're just out and about, keep an eye out for new places that are opening, try them. Like you, go in, sit down and say, okay, you know, show us what you got. What do you recommend?
I will put myself at the mercy of a decent server any day if I don't
Yes.
if I'm not familiar with the food, because it's hard to be familiar with all these different cuisines. You know, it's one thing that if you've been a world traveler or something, but you know, so the Korean restaurant experience I had was very, very positive, and I
Yeah.
did eat down the street at that place, and that was very good as well.
And folks that have restaurants, if you go in and say, I'm new, I've never been in here, give me some guidance, they are thrilled to give you guidance.
I find they
Absolutely.
love that.
They love
right?
it. They'll stand
New
and talk
time
with you
customer.
or help you
Yeah.
or give you guidance. My mom is entering the dating scene, and so she's been going out occasionally, and folks will take her to places that
Give
she
me your
may.
number.
There we go. There we go.
Damn, you beat me to that, man.
And so she said to me, I've never eaten fill in the blank. I've never eaten Korean. I've never eaten Thai. And so I've said to her, you know, go in, try to get some guidance. If you're not sure about the meat that you're being offered, ask for the vegetarian dish. Start with a vegetarian. And so when we take folks downtown Springfield for Indian food, for instance, like, oh, I'm not sure about Indian. Start with the basics. Start with something vegetarian or start with grilled chicken. Almost every culture has grilled chicken, and almost everyone I know that eats meat eats grilled chicken. Start there. And then sort of build as you go. And that's how I've gotten to love Indian food. Is I didn't know, I had never had it until I was an adult and moved to Springfield and went in and said, okay, let's start with like something basic, something that I know, and grilled chicken. And then we've built from there. And Mike knows that we go for Indian, and now I ask for it extra hot and have all kinds of dishes.
Where's your favorite? I don't mean to.
No, jump in,
Where's your
jump in.
favorite Indian place to eat, or is that correct to ask?
No, we can ask that.
So we're not going to turn this into an infomercial.
No. No.
So I love Indian food now as an adult. I have come to absolutely love it. And my favorite Indian is on Main Street in Springfield, and that's Punjabi Tadka.
Okay.
I've tried some other folks in
That's
the valley.
right near the theater.
Yep, right near the theater.
Okay.
I have tried 2 or 3 other Indian restaurants in the valley. Northampton has a good one. Agawam has one. West Springfield has one. I just really love the way that Malkeet cooks.
Okay.
And I love that Malkeet is always there. He comes out. He knows us by name. When we have folks that have never been there, he's really warm and pleasant. I call on the phone for takeout. He knows our voices. He knows exactly what we want.
He knows our boy. That's how you know
Like,
you go
really?
there. Yeah.
But that's my go-to for Indian. And I was not raised with Indian food at all. Like I said, I grew up on an island, and exotic for us was we'd get Chinese takeout, and they used to put water rolls, what we know out here know as water rolls, on the top of the Chinese food. And so the first time I came to Springfield and got Chinese food, I'm like, where are the water
Where are the
rolls?
water rolls?
Like, no, we don't give you
What
water
the hell
rolls.
is
Like,
what is a water roll?
so
Bulky roll?
It's like a bulky roll.
Oh, okay.
Or a crunchy hard roll. But the local Chinese restaurant when I was a kid had water rolls, and they'd put them in the bag.
That's funny.
I don't know. But yeah,
Wow, that's
Indian is
interesting.
definitely Springfield.
Chef Wayne, do you have a favorite Indian place?
I like the one she mentioned.
Yep.
I tend to go to Pintu's
Yep.
Yeah.
because some of my good friends who are also members here, they drag us there. Pintu rolls out the red carpet, and it's just a really good time.
And that's what you like.
You
yeah.
know, but
yeah.
the one she's mentioned is right around the corner from
Yep.
me, and I've gone there. But as far as congregating, the go-to place with the guys,
Yeah.
either with Joe and them after golf. I don't golf,
Yeah.
but Joe golfs and Gopal golfs and Clayton golfs, and we end up at Pintu's, or we go to Pintu's.
Yep.
I like Asian food. I mean, I like Indian food. I am really coming to grips with losing Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because
yeah.
he was
He had
my
my dream job.
barometer. Because I travel where he goes, and also
Really?
I'm having a senior moment now.
Zimmerman?
Zimmerman.
I
yes.
love, that's the two
Oh,
guys I love.
My guys.
Yeah.
Everywhere. In,
Are you willing to eat what they eat, especially Zimmerman?
Just about
Oh,
everywhere in China, Spain, Africa, both sides of South America, up and down, Beijing, Shanghai, Hong Kong,
No kidding.
Yemen, everywhere they ate, I went.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they were
that's
my.
impressive.
You got to have a starting point.
Yeah.
And Anthony, I like because he went to neighborhood places.
Yeah. I
You-
like
you
I
know,
love his personality.
Andrew, with Anthony, you got a history lesson on an area. Andrew, you got a food lesson.
Yeah.
He was more articulate when it came to picking a dish apart and telling you what to expect,
Yeah.
or you learned something. And I'm going to miss Anthony Bourdain
Sure.
because now I
Sure.
know where I want to go.
Yeah.
Well, the
I
story
think-
of the people is from their food.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Yes.
I
Yes.
went to Pintu's twice. Once with Evan Plotkin. And he said, have you ever had Indian food, Tim? I said, no, but hey, I'll try anything. Went in there. He said, well, what do you like? Do you like it hot? Do you like it? I didn't understand the question at the time. And the waiter came over. He said, you like hot food? I said, well, hot temperature or spicy? I said, like middle of the road. And I never realized middle of the road in Indian food. And he brought it over, and I'm eating it. And he said, is that too hot? No, that's okay. Ate it, let it, as soon as it digested, and And about 5 minutes later, you start to feel the heat coming up, right? And it was like, and Evan said, "You can eat that?" I said, "Oh, then you can go up to the next level." No, I don't know what the next level was, but I made it from Pinto's to about the Federal Building before I started running to use a men's room because it was all going through. It was the heat. I was like, "Are you hot?" He says, "No, I'm not. I'm okay." I said, "Geez, I'm sweating like an SOB," and I'm like wiping it. I got to the Federal Building. I had to run to hot tables and go there, and like it was amazing. The food was very good, but I learned don't challenge the kitchen. Right?
That's right.
And I think with Indian food and also with Thai food, it can be that blend of seasonings and spices that you got to get used to.
Yeah, that's
You gotta-
that's
you gotta
definitely
get
it.
used
Yeah.
Because when I was in Asia and I'm eating all this stuff, the guide and those who spoke English in the places where we went, they said it's almost like a compliment to eat and go.
Yeah.
And they eat it, but they become accustomed to it. But you eat, you go.
Did you have it with yogurt? Did you have it with raita to cool the heat?
No, there was no. I think I don't want to say. I think I will publicly say I was sandbagged by Evan Parkin that day and Ron Ekman.
Oh, he got you.
And
It was
they,
a
oh yeah,
setup.
they got
Okay.
me.
It
They
was
got
a
me
setup.
good because they knew I would try anything. And they and I remember on the walk they kept laughing. I'm saying, "What's so funny?" You know, and I'm like, "What's so funny?" And I'm like, and they knew exactly what was up. And I took the bait.
So here's another hint for when you have it. Have it with raita, the
Yeah.
yogurt sauce, because that's the cooling effect. But then a lot of Indian restaurants, as you're leaving the restaurant, they have a little copper pot of licorice seeds. So it's the licorice pellets in arjwan seeds, and the arjwan helps your body digest the Indian food.
Oh.
So when you're leaving, just take a handful of that, eat it, and you won't have to run for a bathroom.
Yeah.
Guarantee you.
Funny that my two
Arjwan.
friends
Well, my
were.
whole thing is after you eat, just don't leave right away. Sit there and have a drink and wait
Have
for
a drink
it to
and
work.
relax. Yeah.
I like the holistic approach, you know?
Yeah.
And wait for it to work.
But yeah, they have plenty of good restaurants around. It's great.
So let me ask you guys. For many years, it was if you wanted a good a good meal, you wanted good food, we all trooped up to the Northampton area because supposedly Northampton had better restaurants than we had in Hampden County in the Springfield area. Now, personally, I never bought into that. I feel it's a falsehood because I think that we've got greater ethnic diversity here, and that ethnic diversity has translated into different kinds of restaurants offering different kinds of cuisines. And even within a walking distance here of Smokey Joe's, I mean, we have Chef Wayne's, we have the Indian restaurant, we have Theodore's, we have Ardi Pizza, we have Adolfo's. I mean, all within
Nadim's.
Nadim's. We have a
Nadim's.
very
Yep.
short
Yeah.
walk.
And I
We have,
think Nadeem and his wife, they eat in the restaurant. They come in, I see them at least twice a week.
Yeah.
So-
he's very supportive.
No,
do you
he's very
guys agree
supportive,
with the
good guy.
idea that we're on a par with fashionable Hampshire County?
I think we're undiscovered in a lot of ways.
I think it's just people then was looking, they wanted to go out, and they wanted a particular vibe to go along with their dining experience.
That's it,
yeah.
And
Yeah.
Northampton provided that vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas you could go to Northampton and you can go to Thorns, you can eat and then go shopping.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And it's all about the vibe. And I think that's what we need to do is we need to create our own vibe, which is happening.
It's true. Yeah.
You know, Springfield gets a little bad rep when it comes, they think about violence and this, that, and other, but that's what they hear about, so they stay away. But if they experience it, it's no problem.
That's what they read about.
Yeah.
The entertainment district in Springfield is the safest neighborhood in the city and has less incidents than West Springfield and some of the other areas.
Absolutely.
But it's like, it's true, that it's a bad vibe.
Absolutely. Well, entertainment district is flipping over to dining district.
That's
How
exactly
many
right.
patrons have you lost to violence in the city of Springfield? 0.
Yeah.
How many have been impacted coming to your restaurant? 0.
Zero.
How many folks have been somehow harmed or assaulted going into Fernandez on High Street in Holyoke, one of my favorite Latino restaurants in the Valley? 0. It's all about perception. It is
It's about
not
perception.
reality. It is not reality in the
It's a
least.
negative perception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's true. Yeah. and you look at it and you say, people will go, I'll go to a restaurant based on personality, based on the quality of the food and my experience. Man, I don't care where it is, you know? It's, where the
If you
heck did
want
we go?
authentic, you've got to go where the restaurants are. If you
Yeah.
want to eat
That's part
the
of the
standardized,
experience. Yeah.
and
You guys got it over me because you have more time to go out and eat.
Oh, sure, yeah, yeah.
You know, I wish I could get to all the places I would like
Sure.
to go to, and I just don't.
Okay, so speaking of places we'd like to go to, Steve has given me the hand signs that we have a few minutes left. So I
Oh my
want
God,
you guys.
that was quick.
It is. So I want you guys to tell me, give our viewers a recommendation of a restaurant that maybe they haven't discovered, that you've discovered that you enjoy. So Alicia, where would you like to point people to?
so I am hot to trot right now on Turkish food. And so we've been dining a lot at Saray 2 on Allen Street in Springfield.
Oh, yeah.
Family owned and operated, amazing Turkish food. Again, they'll walk you through the menu. I also encourage people to kind of visit those sort of hole-in-the-wall spots that we might have forgotten. The Italian Bread Bakery at the corner of Orange and Oakland Street is fantastic. AC Produce down on Main Street in Springfield is amazing. If you need to stop for produce on the way home and you don't want to stop at the grocery store, we're in there all the time, all kinds of things. And I've got to give a plug to Fernandez in Holyoke for Latino food. One of the things that I will say that we're really lamenting the loss of in our household are the places like Lido's and Rinaldi's in Longmeadow. I'm really sorry to see some of these family-owned classics go because I think it's a real loss. But
Okay.
that's my take.
Tim, where would you recommend pointing people
I
to
will
someplace?
say, not because he's here on the panel, but I would say if you want to try a unique experience, try Chef Wayne's across from the Springfield Post Office for great food, great staff, terrific experience, and a dynamic personality. And I say, and he knows me, well, he knows my brother better than me, but I think most people know I just say it. And go there with a group of friends and have a great time and a great dinner. I'd compare it to the old Silvano's restaurant where the staff knows you, the cooks know you, you feel very comfortable, you start talking with people at other tables, and you will have, I will give you the Tim Rooke guarantee. If you don't like the food and the experience, bring me the receipt and I will pay the bill.
Oh my
Wow.
Yeah, and I give that to all the restaurants. If you don't like it, you don't have a good time, you come back and I'll pick up the bill.
Okay, Chef Wayne, when you and your wife go out, do you go out to a favorite restaurant?
I have some outside Springfield, a couple miles, but we'll stay in Springfield.
Okay.
When
But then I
feel
wanna hear
like
the
a
one
double, because I
outside.
live downtown, I work downtown, I Smokey Joe's Cigar Lounge. The kids have an after school program. We have an after work program.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Simple as that. Okay, but I go for Italian, I go to Adolfo's.
Okay.
If I
Yeah,
really want
I would
barbecue
agree.
or something,
Yeah.
I go to theaters. I really stay around because I get off work most of the time I'm in this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a stop and a stop and a stop and a stop, and they don't mind me being in this.
Yeah.
And go. I like
true.
Nadim's. You
Yeah,
know,
I think we all like the
very
same
seldom
restaurants.
eat on the other side of the bridge because that's a drive.
Yeah.
When I live right on Mattoon Street,
Sure,
so
yeah,
everything is
yeah.
around me.
Yeah.
But I discovered a fried chicken place. I like fried chicken. I just don't eat it that much.
Where's the fried chicken place?
Oh, Chickadees, right?
Oh yeah, I
No,
know.
Page
St. James.
Boulevard
St.
and
James.
Page Boulevard.
Okay.
Pennies?
No, St. James, and there's two of them in a row. The bigger one is Chickadees.
All right, there's
There
our
we go.
tip from Chef Wayne. I'm getting the wrap it up sign from producer Steve Cary. This has been a really quick half hour, so we're going to have to do this again.
Only gonna have to extend it to an hour.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for watching Focus Springfield's 30 Minutes with. My name is Mike Dobbs, and we're here from Smokey Joe's Cigar Lounge on Dwight Street. Eat local, folks, and we'll see you next time.